Okay, so welcome
All
to the For Your Thoughts podcast, where psychology, pop culture, and self meets. I'm here with Kizzle from Express Yourself Black Man.
right.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for creating a platform for men to be vulnerable and like still be men, but be vulnerable to whatever that actually means, you know?
Right.
Um, can you, well, let's start off with this listener letter. We always do that first, and then we'll get
Mm-hmm.
into who you are, your story, and everything like that.
Okay.
Express Yourself Black Man is a community, it's a resource, it's a platform, it's
Mm-hmm.
just for men to heal, correct?
Right. Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
A safe space, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So it says, Dear Penny, me and my really good friend are in love with each other. We started off
Okay.
as genuine
Mm.
friends.
I already I like it. I like it already. Mm-hmm.
But after some time, we both are realizing that there is more there. The problem is he has a girlfriend who was and has been like his high school sweetheart, love of his life type stuff for years.
Oh God. Never mind. I
Yeah.
don't want to say too much anymore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He says he loves me and, of course, her, and he's really stuck in a hard place. Question one, can people be in love with two people at the same time? And what should I do? Because that's genuinely my friend. Yeah. You,
God.
you,
Uh,
you go first.
Okay. Can people be in love with two people at the same time? In
I think.
love.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a difference between love and being in love. I can love you, but
Right.
I that doesn't mean I'm in love with you. I always think of in love as like I would really die for this person. Like
Mm-hmm.
I would really like give them like everything. That's how I think of
Right.
love, right? And I love them regardless of like being in love. I love them regardless of what the situation is, regardless of how we end up, whether it be a relationship or not. That's how I think of in love. Can you
Mm-hmm.
be in love with two people at the same time? Potentially, probably,
Right. Because if you're
probably.
saying if you're saying it doesn't matter if you're in a relationship or not, you might be married but still have love for somebody,
Right. But that's what I'm
or
saying.
be
Like
in love with them. I don't know.
yeah, and so that's what I think. That's what I'm saying, right? Like so I feel like in love, um, is definitely different than love. I don't personally know if you can or can't be in love with two people at the same time. I think the more interesting part of this scenario is the fact that he's in love with a past,
Mm-hmm.
person or girlfriend or partner,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, so I think that's the problematic part
And
because
yeah.
because if you're trying to move forward with somebody and be in a relationship with somebody, you're saying you're in love with this person who happens to be your longtime friend, but you've also been with you also have an ex that you're saying that you're still in love with. To me, as a man, that communicates that you have some unresolved feelings towards
Yeah.
that person, and you shouldn't really be moving forward in a relationship with somebody else. Because
Right.
at any point in time, what if they say, "Man, I want to make this work"?
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna do? What's gonna happen?
And also, it kind of gives you might be, how some people are kind of like tied to just like their comfort zone or whoever that
Mm-hmm.
person is.
Mm-hmm.
Although
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like tied to the fact that we've been cool for years. Those type
Right.
of friends, or we like that whole loyalty thing in a sense. And it's like if you have found the space and kind of grown apart to even allow yourself to fall in love with somebody else, that's something that you
Mm-hmm.
need to explore as to why that's actually happening. But I have
Mm-hmm.
been seeing this a lot lately, whether it's on the internet and even like with friends, men speaking on the fact of like kind of
Being
like
in love
not,
with multiple people.
yeah, or just the
Mm.
fact that it's like, or staying with one person, or there's an energy here, there's energy there, like that whole talk has all,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of comes into play when I look at this, because obviously there's something in both of these women that he
Mm-hmm.
is finding and is attaching himself to, attracted to,
Mm-hmm.
so it brings up that whole topic as well.
Let me say this too.
Okay.
I feel like okay, so here's my thought process. You can be in love with multiple people, but there's only one person, in my opinion, right, that is right for you to be with.
Yeah,
You get what I'm
yeah,
saying? Right? Like I
yeah.
could be in love with you, but we could just not be compatible. I have a friend, Amani, she's a marriage and family therapist. We collab on a lot of different things. And we talk about these things a lot. She made a post talking about compatibility or
Mm-hmm.
incompatibility, and she was explaining this. One of her probably like one of her most engaged posts at this point. Is pinned on her IG. Her
Mm-hmm.
IG is Amani.intouch. Um, and so basically what she explained is that like just because you love somebody and just because things feel good when you're with them doesn't mean that you guys are compatible.
Right.
I can love you. I could be in love with you. You could be terrible for me. And so I'm pointing to that. I'm saying all that to say, like, you can be in love with multiple people, but I don't think you can be compatible
with
multiple people, right?
Exactly.
Like
I think to actually build a life with all of these people,
right?
Build a life while being your best self, like both of you guys,
right? Exactly, because there's a lot that goes into building a healthy relationship, having a healthy foundation, building a family, all those different kind of things. I think a lot of times as guys, not just people in general, we don't really think about these things enough, and we go based off of the vibe and how we feel. You know what I'm saying, right? And then we're like, I'm in love. Let's just make it work, right? And then we don't think about all the different things that come as part of that, right? Like you have so many different, trials and tribulations that come as being part of a relationship or being in a committed relationship. So, I would say to her, it was a woman that
yeah, a woman, okay. About right? Her friend.
I would say to her, my advice to her, my unsolicited advice would be, make sure you know where his heart is in terms of like his commitment. I won't even say his heart, where his mind is. Yeah. Because his heart right now is in kind of two different places. Where's your mind? Yeah. Right? Because when your heart is in like these different places, you need to understand where you want to go. Right? You could be in love with multiple people, but
like where are you trying to go with your life?
Yeah. Like what are you trying to do? Right? So does he have a plan? If so, how does he plan on executing that? Does that match and align with where you want to be and what you want to do? So
like ask those questions, like instead of those like the logical like type of questions.
Yes, let's get to the logical part, right? Because right now you're trying to assess whether or not you should continue to move forward in a direction towards like a relationship. And I want this person to kind of slow down and really just take a view of the landscape and understand the situation and get as much information as possible so you don't get yourself caught up in a three-way relationship. Right. Because that's what it sounded like it's going to end up being.
It's about to get a little messy.
Yeah.
For sure. And I think that's one thing that I think a lot of women, they're kind of like, oh my God, we had such a good time. The vibe was this, it was that. He was saying this, saying that. But then it's kind of like crickets after a while. And it's like, maybe you guys don't align when it comes to like his goals, his dreams, his like day to day, like you're a vibe, but are you like, and I guess that's like the vibe versus the wife. I don't know, but it's also like, how do you even, if you're just vibing with somebody in the beginning, how do you even dive into those questions in a sense? You know what I mean?
I mean, like, here's the thing, right? Man, I think we make dating so much more difficult than it needs to be. Yeah. Just to me personally, like I was on another podcast and we were talking about how we were talking about dating and just how, our whole generation thinks that dating is so difficult and you can't find the right man or right woman or whatever the case may be. I just think we don't ask the right questions and we don't ask questions early and we don't ask questions often enough because it's just, oh, take me on a date, pay for the date. Oh, the vibe was cool. Like, okay, cool. What's he doing? What's up? What is she doing? Right? Like, all right, the vibe was great. All right, great, cool. I'm glad you went out on a date. And y'all can actually,
and y'all
can actually, y'all ate
some crab legs or whatever, had some hookah.
Anybody could do that, right? And I feel like we set the standard so low for men that a man can take you on a date and just be chilling, and it's like, damn, that date was great, and you don't even know a damn thing about this man.
Yeah, 6 months later, a lot of times it's like men aren't really doing that. So I've seen it in myself, friends, when they are getting taken on a date, like they take that so serious because men aren't really doing that.
That is so sad. That is so sad. I hate that for both of us. I hate that for both of us. Honestly, like, why is it that our standards are so low for men that a man taking you on a date and y'all just having a good time means like he is committed to me. He could just be like, yo, you know what, man?
She cool.
You know what?
Or I'm bored.
Exactly. I'm bored. Be the
the worst.
Right. I don't do that. I don't personally do that. I never really did that when I was dating. But I know guys that do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, don't just assume because y'all going on a date that it means that he's committed. Ask these questions like, yo, what's up?
Right.
What you want? Yo, and just be straight up. As men, we understand for like being straight. indirect. That's how we communicate with each other,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if a woman, we probably be a little taken aback if a woman does it,
Like, oh,
but we're not gonna not understand, right? And I hate to generalize, but I'm generalizing, right? But we're not gonna not understand that direct level of communication, right?
Right.
And any man that's serious is gonna appreciate that and communicate what his vision is. If I'm taking you out on a date and I'm like, damn, I really want to mess with shorty, and you ask me in the date, like, yo, what's up, what you want? I'm like, oh shit, like I can tell you,
yeah, it's easier because y'all kind of try to ease into it and kind of like try to assess
because we don't
because you don't want to go too hard or like whatever. Also, fear of rejection on y'all's end as well.
Yeah, fear of rejection is a big thing, man. So yeah, just being direct and straightforward, asking a few questions could solve a lot of problems. What's up? What are your intentions? What do you don't even need to ask like what are your intentions like that. You can just be like, yo, what do you want out of this? Right? Like, are we just going out on dates? Is that what you want to do? Or are you looking for a relationship? Or like, what's up? Let me know, right? Because right then and there, now you guys have set what the expectation is. And I think a lot of times we had this thought process in our community that don't set expectations, don't set standards. You're just gonna set yourself up for disappointment.
Right.
I disagree completely. Once we come up with expectations, now I can hold you to what we said the expectation was. So if that doesn't happen,
we can assess the situation, figure out what's going on. We have a direction, we know where we're going.
Exactly. Right?
Very true.
You get what I'm saying? So now that we know that it's not going in that direction, I can make my move and go and do what I need to do versus it's not going in that direction. I'm like, man, maybe it could be going in this direction. I'm playing myself, but I don't really know because y'all never even had the conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Right? Like, so just be straight up. Just ask me. Okay. It don't gotta wait a certain number of dates. You just be like, yo, listen, we going out. I don't even really know you like that. What's up?
Yeah. It's a valid question. If you really
it's a very valid question. What are we doing?
Like, what am I doing here? Like, this is the time out of my day. Like, what's up?
Exactly. That's once you hold yourself to that standard, you force people to hold you to that standard.
Yeah, I think even girls are scared of what that answer is.
Because y'all want to be.
I'm chilling. It's like you chilling. It's like, and what? Like.
Yeah, but. Yeah, man, you just gotta, I don't know. I'm a person, I don't like to be sitting here and assuming and trying to figure and put puzzle pieces together after the date and all that. Like, nah, just
straight up.
I'm glad I got my girl because I don't got time for all this.
Yes, I'm glad I saw. Beautiful. Yeah. She's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the pod. Well, dating is all up in here too. So, okay, so I want to get into your story. I always ask my guests, like, who were you? Who are you now? And like, where do you see yourself when it comes to your platform? Just period. So basically, in a sense, it's kind of like, how did you even get here? Like, what's your story?
Past, present, future.
And what do you see?
Yeah. Do you want the long version? You want the short version? I can give you the 10-minute version.
Let's do like the 7-minute version.
Okay, I'm gonna give you something. I'm gonna give you something in the middle. So 2017. I got into mental health advocacy after dealing with my first real heartbreak, right? And I was in a relationship from 14 to 19. We ended up going to college together. I followed her to college, and in college, the relationship started failing. And I'm just like, why is like I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to piece things together. I just don't understand like what's going on. And we just at odds. We arguing all the time. We just can't seem to find common ground on certain things. And then we ended up breaking up. And so I was 19 at the time. I'm dormant. I'm in Delaware by myself. I'm not with family. The only girl that I really knew throughout all my teenage years, my developmental years, we're not together no more. So it led to like this period of depression because in my mind, I'm like, damn, I don't even know who I am anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't know who I am because I spent so much time and energy being in a relationship. Like I really almost lost it all because I went through depression and then suicidal ideations. And I had never been that kind of person where I had suicidal ideations, not wanting to be alive anymore. And that's when I realized I needed to make a change.
Can we pause right there for a second?
Yeah, what's up?
I always, whenever people just say suicide ideations or things like that, I always want you to like
break it
describe,
down,
if you
what it
can,
is.
like
Yeah.
what, like no, I know what it is, but in a sense, like what did that sound like? What did it look like?
Yeah.
And if it might be triggering for you to even go
No,
there,
it's not triggering.
But just so when other people have them and they're not sure,
what it is. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So suicide ideations for me look like, this is the perfect way I can explain it. I had a friend that I was talking to at the time, and I remember telling her, I was like, yo, if God came down right now and he asked me, do you want to stay or do you want to go? I'd have been like, bro, let's go. That's a stupid question. Let's go, as in take me right now. I'm done on earth. Right? Those are suicidal ideations, right? I didn't have, I always say courage. I know some people are turned off by using the courage word, but I do think it takes a lot of courage to actually go through with suicide, because you have to really say like, I'm done, and actually act on it. I'm not condoning it at all, right? But I do think it's important to acknowledge that. So I always say I didn't have the courage to actually go and do it, but at the same time, I did actually think about it actively, multiple days out of the week, multiple weeks out of the month. And so that's how I classify my suicide ideations. I really just didn't want to be alive anymore. And for me, it was, I don't want to actually do this, but I really don't want to actually stay in the state that I'm in, you know? So yeah, that's what it was for me at that time. And then that's when I realized like, yo, bro, this is not you. I was so depressed that I didn't even remember that there was a time where I wasn't depressed before.
Like even though remember what, like your mind was so cloudy, you don't remember what it felt like.
I don't remember I didn't remember what it felt like to not be depressed.
Like that was just like your state of being.
Yeah, that's how depressed I was. I remember being in a crib just thinking like, damn, bro, like you like, what was it like before this? Like, I don't even like, I've been in this so long and this feels so like natural now that I don't even know what it feels like to not be in this. And then that's when I started.
Were you Googling like, am I depressed? Like, were you,
Nah, nope. And that's the reason why I love giving signs and tips and all these different things on the platform. And we'll get to that and like how I got into that, right? Because at that time, I didn't even think of therapy as an option. I didn't think of therapy as an option. I wasn't Googling if I was depressed, anything like that. I was just thugging it out, right? So I got to a point where I was like, yo, you're having suicidal. I didn't even call it suicide ideations. I just thought I didn't want to be here, right? I didn't have the language to identify what was actually going on. But I knew I had to make a change. And so for me, it wasn't go to therapy. It was grind my pain away by learning a bunch of different things. Take my mind off of what I'm thinking about by thinking about different things, which is like learning new things. So I learned graphic design around that time. I learned website design. I just dove into YouTube University and just started looking up stuff, picked up Photoshop,
Were you working?
Photoshop. I was in school.
So, okay.
Yeah, and I was still maintaining like a 4.0 during that time.
Okay.
That's how people think that just because, you know what I'm saying? Like just because you have good grades and you're doing what you need to do, that everything is good. I'll go to school, I'll smile, I'll be straight, come back home, be crying on the floor. Can't stand it. I can't stand to be alone. And so what ended up happening was at the end of 2017, I started feeling a little bit better. And I started something called the Kizzle Brand. And the Kizzle Brand is a project aimed at raising awareness for depression and helping people through difficult times. And so I started a Kizzle Brand because I knew that in our community, we don't talk about mental health enough. We didn't talk about depression enough. Right. I felt like I was at a period where I felt comfortable enough talking about my story. And so that's what I did towards the end of 2017, just told people about depression and what I was experiencing and like the stages and like how I felt, all that kind of stuff. But I still hadn't actually done the work to heal. Right. And because I hadn't done the work to heal, I wasn't aware of like my unhealthy attachment style and like my need to like be in constant relationships. And so in 2018, I hopped into another relationship because of this unhealthy attachment style, right? So I hop into this new relationship and I'm noticing these red flags, but I'm not putting two and two together. I'm not breaking.
What were they? What were the red flags?
Okay, the two red flags, two biggest.
I'm a details person, but yeah.
No. You're right. Two red flags, the biggest red flags that I like to point out. I wanted to get married and she didn't want to get married. That's one. And then I wanted to have kids and she didn't want to have kids. That's another one, right? And the reason why I call these red flags is because these are big decisions in a relationship, right? Like I can't do these things without you. So
Mm-hmm.
if you don't want to do them, and it's something that is very core to who I am as an individual, why are we in a relationship? And if we're still in a relationship, it's either I'm conforming or I'm trying to change you.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So now, though, that's a red flag because I should not be conforming unless we compromise and we make
Right.
changes.
But you can't like
But on big
abandon
things,
yourself and who you are, what you
exactly,
want. Yeah.
exactly. I'm not gonna conform on a huge thing like having kids and getting married, and I'm not also gonna change you. And so what ended up happening was 2018 to 2020, I'm in that relationship. I'm still doing a Kizzle brand. 2020 happens and pandemic happens, right? So what I used to do with a Kizzle brand is I used to go out to different organizations, I would hold workshops, and we would just talk about like, how to tie a tie, business etiquette, how to be successful. And I would talk to kids
Mm-hmm.
from like ages like 5 to 18. I'll go to different organizations, Boys and Girls Club, high schools, and I would do that.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do that in 2020 anymore because of the pandemic. And then during the pandemic, I found out that she cheated on me. And so, yeah. So when I found that out, I'm like, damn, bro, like, why was I even in this relationship for this long, bro? Like, you knew, because my man's you got friends that just can see things that you don't really see. And my man's just
Mm-hmm.
telling me, like, yo, bro, he would just give me little hints, like, yo, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, just a little nudge, like,
Just
bro,
saying
you
little stuff
sure?
like I don't know about this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? Nothing hateful or anything like that, but just like, yo, bro, you sure? And I'm like, nah, bro, we good. We
Mm-hmm.
good.
It's like like the guy's way of like having your back, although it's very subtle. But yeah.
Right, right. And that's exactly what it was. And I will always shrug it off and say, like, nah, bro, we good until I found out that she cheated on me. And so that took me down this rabbit hole of just not trusting women, thinking all women are evil. And after
Mm-hmm.
that happened, I was like, yo, I gotta get in therapy, bro. Like it's been 3 years now since you actually experienced depression. Now you got cheated on, you done had another failed relationship before this. Like, bro, come on, you got something going on. You got a problem with women. That's what
Right.
started telling myself. I'm like, yo, bro, you got some kind of problem with women, bro. Like, it's just straight up facts. Like, what's going
Right.
on? And then that's when I realized, like, okay, let me get into therapy. Also, my relationship I knew with women was kind of fractured because I had this thought process that women are evil, and I never had that before the relationship. And so when I got into therapy, I just started learning all these things about myself. I'm like, yo, therapy is dope. Like, this is
Yeah.
great. Like, I'm like, I feel
Everything
like
is making sense.
yes,
A superhero is like,
exactly,
yes, I can
bro.
attack this thing called life now.
Facts, facts. And I
Yeah.
could go through things. I'll write them down, and I'll go to therapy, and I'll talk to my therapist about it. I was like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
bro, how the hell was I living without my therapist? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like not on some codependent stuff, but just realizing like, yo, this is really an advantage. And so I'm the type of person, once I learn new things, I always try to break it down to somebody and I always try to encourage people to take steps to learn more and, and be better versions of themselves. And so I went on my personal IG and I would just start talking about all the things I was learning in therapy. And
Mm-hmm.
that led to one of my bros saying like, yo, you should start a podcast, bro. And at first I was telling him like, bro, I'm not doing that. That's too much work. Because I'm the type of person when I start something, I gotta be very thorough. Like I have to do it. I can't just half do it.
I see you
You know
did
what I'm saying?
it.
Nah,
Yeah.
seriously, nah,
The
exactly,
setup.
exactly, right. I have to actually do it, right? And then I didn't really feel like I wanted to do it because when I started a Kizzle brand never took off. If you go look at the IG, it doesn't even have more than 900 followers, and it didn't
Mm,
have more than like 750 before I started Express Yourself Black Man, right? So I didn't feel comfortable starting something new because I just thought it would never amount to anything because I had started stuff before and it never amounted to anything. But
right.
I was just like, you know
You're
what?
kind of discouraged.
Exactly. I was like, you know what,
Right.
bro? I'm gonna just do it. Don't matter. This is gonna be for my kids. I'm gonna give them these podcast episodes as a way for them to learn lessons in their
Yeah.
adulthood. And the podcast turned into me just making posts about things I was learning and just addressing Black men. And it has taken off into this beautiful community. And now we also have Safe Haven, which is our private healing community. We got
Mm-hmm.
low cost therapy in there. We actually have that on wait list because we've kind of filled the slots for that. And then we also have like a medical concierge service in there. We're holding
Right.
each other accountable. All the content that you see on IG is really just watered down content that's put in Safe Haven. So like the
Right.
full versions are actually in Safe Haven with like expanded details and we have conversations about it. And then IG
Mm-hmm.
kind of at this point gets like the minimized versions that are like easily consumable or easy for people to consume
Mm-hmm.
really quickly on social media. So Yeah, man, that was more than 7 minutes. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, but yeah.
it's I have questions for all that in between there. And what I really loved about your platform was it's not just you talking, it's resources. It's like
Yeah.
actual tangible things that will help these men, you know, a whole
Right.
community safe haven and things like that. You're not just there to hear yourself talk like a lot of other, like,
No, I
you know what I
very
mean?
much, yeah, I very much, first of all, I don't even like social media like that. To be honest,
Yeah, me
I
neither.
don't
Which is why
really
it's kind of
like it
hard for,
like
yeah.
that. That's one. And two, I always think of things, and I'm a solution-based person. I can't just sit and talk about things. I'm gonna vent, don't get me wrong, but then I
Mm-hmm.
want a solution. And so I always think about things that way. And so whenever I try to address problems in our community, I don't want to just sit and talk about how much of a problem it is, because that's not doing anything for anybody. That's just
Right.
recycling trauma. We can do that all day, every day, right? I want to
Mm-hmm.
actually get to the point where we can eradicate the trauma, because
Mm-hmm.
that's a completely different conversation. I think a lot of times in our community, we get used to just recycling trauma and just talking about trauma all day, every day, without actually getting to a point where we develop and
Exactly.
implement solutions. And so
Mm-hmm.
I've never wanted to be that kind of person, and I didn't want the platform to be that. So I'm glad
Right.
you see it as a solution
A resource, a
oriented
community.
and
Yeah.
resources. Yeah, yeah, because that's
Mm-hmm.
what I want it to be.
You mentioned, so you said that like you just started to feel better.
Yeah.
Around like what do you mean by that? Because some people don't ever start to feel better.
Yeah.
You
So
know what I mean?
yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I had situational depression. So I situational and kind of functional depression. So situational depression is depression that's onset as a cause of something that actually happened to you,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that could be like somebody dying, it could be that you maybe getting robbed, or you losing a relationship, right? So in my case, it was obviously us breaking up. Um, so like my depression wasn't like because of what people say is like clinical depression is a chemical imbalance, right? So that
Right.
kind of depression is not something that kind of easily goes away from you just thinking
Just
about other
changing your
things.
environment or changing your
Right,
situation.
right. So
Right.
that's why we got to get better about our education on these topics, because a lot
Yep.
of times I see people give like broad advice for dealing with depression, and they'll say, "Yo, just do this, focus, go to the gym,
Workout.
work
Yeah.
out, eat some bananas, and you know what I'm saying?" I'm just like, bro, what are you talking about? Like some people really have chemical imbalances. Like, nah, bro,
Mm-hmm.
you need to go to a
A
psychiatrist.
psychiatrist and get
Yes,
and
get a
medicine is okay.
yes, exactly. Go get your prescription and figure out what you need and take your
Mm-hmm.
daily doses or whatever it is. So for me, I had situational depression. It was lesser than clinical depression. And so once I started taking my mind off of it, which is not a solution that I recommend to people because you're not actually dealing with what's actually going on, I started to think about other things and I started to get hope because I was like, oh, okay, life. This is life.
Right. Like the
And
door
I,
started to open up a little bit. Like you got
right,
peaks of it and you were able to
right,
walk through. Right.
right. And I also started I was journaling a lot during that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize how therapeutic it was for me, but it was therapy. I would literally write blog posts about what I was dealing with.
Yeah.
Um, and I
Mm-hmm.
would also do gratitude journaling. So I would like 3 things I'm grateful for at the end of the day, every
Mm-hmm.
day. And I
Mm-hmm.
did that for like maybe like a month or some change. Just 3 things
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful for, end of the day or start of the day. That's how you reframe your thought
You're
process on
thinking,
life.
yep.
And
Mm-hmm.
that started to also help me to feel better about what I was dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
So
I do want to
yeah.
speak on so as somebody who like my mom dealt with depression,
Mm-hmm,
I have as well, and
mm-hmm,
medication is what helped me like see the door, like open the
mm-hmm,
door. What
mm-hmm.
I'm not on anymore, but literally it's like in a sense for you I feel like yours was kind of like situational. So it's like the door was
Mm-hmm.
closed sometimes, but sometimes it was open, so you had that hope in moments. So I do want to
Right.
explain to people that sometimes you don't have that hope at moments.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
door is shut and it's dark, and
Right.
sometimes you do need that medication to be able to see what's on the other side. Cause like you said earlier, you kind of forgot what it was like to not be depressed.
Yeah.
You kind of get
Yep.
stuck in that. So just so we can like, differentiate those two, and both of them are very much so okay. And both of them like are like both of them should also be considered in a sense.
Yes.
For
Yep.
sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you broke that down because a lot of
Yeah.
us don't do that enough. We don't speak on
Mm-hmm.
medication being a solution. or
especially
beneficial.
Black people, which, and as I understand, like, we don't really trust the doctor like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And we have a lot of reasons too. So I don't want to ever like undermine like that whole thing, where in a sense of like our environments, like our own trauma, like that needs to be thought about too. It's not that easy. But
Right.
yeah. So I don't want to undermine that either.
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
So how has your relationship with women changed, like when it at post therapy and post your healing and going through your journey?
Completely. It's changed completely. The reason why I'm smiling is because
you really cheesed up.
Nah. It's changed completely on a lot of different dimensions. The reason why I'm smiling is because I always think about women are evil. And when my girl and I first started like dating, that was affecting like our relationship at that time because I didn't trust her. Right? Like, so I didn't want to talk about money. I didn't want to, I didn't want to pay for things. You didn't open up. And I didn't really want to open up about different things. I'm just like, man, this girl.
But she was so nice.
These women be cheating, man. Like, I'm like, yo, this woman, you know what I'm saying? Like, these women be cheating. Nah, that's really what I was thinking in my head, right? Like, yo, these women be cheating. So it was rubbing off on her and our relationship. And I had to really
see that in her. Like, how did you notice?
She told me straight up.
Oh, okay. She was like, yo.
The dots. Yeah, that's why it's important to be emotionally intelligent and be. I also caveated with this. The woman that I'm with now, my girl now, Naima. That's also that's the ex from 14 to 19. So we ended up.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Wait,
so that's
this
a
is
big.
The ex. Okay.
I just broke it down.
That. Yeah.
Yeah. Now go ahead.
Wait, this is the ex that like.
Not the ex that cheated on me. That's crazy.
Okay, no, but the one who you moved there, you moved to college for, that whole thing. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So 14 and 19, we ended up breaking up. The love was always there. It's just I couldn't deal with. I just yourself. Had so much. Yeah, I had so much going on. I was so insecure as a kid, man. Like I was just mad insecure. That was also part of my attachment style. Right. So I was anxious and insecure. And what we call it is like overthinking. I was overthinking, quote unquote, about the relationship and thinking that she was going to end up leaving me and all these different things. But really what it was is that I was so insecure about myself that I didn't feel worthy of love and being in a relationship. And so that rubbed off on her. I was trying to control her and all of these things, man. And so when we were younger, I was super controlling, super insecure. And that's what really ended up leading to the breakup. So when we talk about, like, if we want to circle back to your question, how did your relationship with women change? It changed completely because I'm more secure. I'm more confident in myself, right? Because now I understand who I am at my core. I don't need to control a woman at all because at the end of the day, she's either going to come back to me. And even if she doesn't, that's not a reflection of me. That's a reflection on her, right? If we made a commitment to be together and you step out on me, that's not a reflection on me. Like that's you. That's what you decided to do. Right. So
but it takes healing to realize that, because if you're in that insecure space, you're gonna be like, okay, what's wrong with me? What did I do? Like, and all that type of stuff.
And you can't take on that burden. Like, don't get me wrong. There's always self-reflection that you need to do after every failed relationship, right? If your partner was if their needs weren't being met, you should also understand like there's gonna be maybe some resentment or whatever the case may be. And you should understand like how you can move on and do better in your next relationship. Right. But you should not take on the responsibility of holding your partner to not cheating, because that is not something that they should be doing point blank period anyway.
Right.
So you saying, damn, I can't believe that they cheated and this is the reason why they cheated because I wasn't doing this specific thing and blah, blah, blah. Bro, stop. Just stop beating yourself up, because I already did that. Like, I've done it for you. You don't need to do it. It's not going anywhere for you. It's not going to help you to heal. It's just going to make you feel even worse about yourself. Somebody cheats on you, that's not your fault. That's them. That is them. I don't care what you did in a relationship, unless you was cheating too.
Yeah, okay. Now that's
right. All right. Come on now. Come on. You wildin', right? But if you wasn't doing all that, like, it should be a conversation that needs to be had. So yeah, that's my thought process on it.
Right.
My relationship with women changed completely.
Completely, because you're more secure in yourself and more confident. Like you know
it's
who
not
you
even
are.
yeah, and it's not even just being insecure in myself. It's me understanding myself on a deeper level, and me also being emotionally intelligent to understand my partner. Right. So now I really get my girl now. Like I get her. I understand when she's going through certain things, and I know when certain things are happening, how to move and speak to her and communicate with her effectively versus, man, you shouldn't be doing this, blah, blah, yada, yada. Like, yo, bro,
Right.
yo, damn, bro. Like, that's
That's
your
true.
girl, bro. Like, relax, calm down.
Right.
And that's how I was when I was younger, too. I was just mad, like
mad butt with it. Like, were you? I can't even imagine that.
I was a little bit of an asshole in the sense of like, and I didn't realize how much of an asshole I was. It's just certain things that I would say came off so like just rude in a sense. Like, and I'm talking to her and I'm expecting more from her because she's my girl and I want more from her. But the way I'm saying certain things is not making her feel good about herself. So like one of the examples that I'll use is like she came to me about asking for feedback on like an essay that she wrote in college, right? And I'm reading the essay and I'm just like, yo, I can't believe you would, yo, why you writing like, yo, damn, bro, like this, like what the hell? And I'm just boom, 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 criticism. Not no emotion, no like, nah, it's all good, baby. You could do this. Like I'm not even, we call it sugarcoating it, right? That's not sugarcoating it. That's learning how to communicate effectively, right? That's learning how to take in other people's feelings and understand that people are sensitive about the things that they share with you and making sure that when you give criticism, it's received well, right? So it's just certain things like that. It's tweaks that I've made to understand like how to communicate better with her and really just sitting down and listening because man, we could have a whole conversation.
Right. No, I feel like we're gonna have like a part two. I already know there's a part two happening. Okay, so that brings me to the question of I do see a lot of men like their insecurities project in like the craziest, they manifest in the craziest ways. And a lot of the times the women that they're dating or dealing with, or even like sisters, moms, like they get the brunt of it. So I want to know like what you've seen, how have you seen those projections manifest in a sense? Because most of the time it's like y'all are insecure. Like that's really what it is, but it comes out in different ways. So what have you seen? And what are some ways for women to recognize that and not take that responsibility, like, you know, that on themselves?
Right. That's a great question. I can speak on me specifically. How do my insecurities manifest in a relationship? So I spoke on this earlier. I was mad controlling. Like when I tell you, you can't wear this, you can't post pictures like this.
Oh, okay. You was like, okay.
You know, yeah. So that's one of the biggest signs that there's insecurity, right? And I know there's gonna be some people that listen to this, but it's like, man, I don't want my girl wearing a bikini and she's going to Key Food or grocery store. Like, of course, right? Like, if we talk about extreme, there's certain standards that you need to set, right? Like, my girl's not gonna be out here wild, right? But I also don't need to tell her that because I communicate that in other ways, and we already have those kind of conversations. So it's not like I need to tell her every single time she's going out, you can't wear this, or when she's going to a party, you can't go to that party because I'm not comfortable with it. What the hell? What do you mean? What do you mean you're not comfortable with her going to a party? Why not?
Like, why is it so strict? Are you my dad? Like, what's going on? Like, no.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Once you start thinking, are you my dad? No, I'm so serious.
Nah.
There's a problem with control. Like for real. There's definitely a problem with control. So it was a lot of me trying to control her because if I can control her, that means that she still listens to me. If she still listens to me, that means that she loves me. If she loves me, that means that I'm lovable. You get what I'm saying? So when you really start doing the work and unpacking the layers, you start realizing what it was. Like that's what it was for me. If I can control you, you're listening. If you're listening, you love me. If you love me, I'm lovable. I won't be alone.
Yeah, and that control can look like that can be in all different ways. It can go from like even just manipulation in a sense, or kind of just having women where you want them, not, you know, not going the distance, but having them where you want them because like they are coming, I guess, how do I explain this? Kind of like, let's say that you're dating someone, right? And it's okay. You want, like, you know that you like them, but you're not getting too close, but but like not trying to get your heart broken type stuff, but having them where you
Yes.
want. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. I would say that's
Okay.
more of an avoidant personality.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
So anxious is more like, oh, you want to be with me? Yeah, let's go. Let's make it happen.
Right.
Avoidant is like, damn, I fake want to be with you, but
I'm scared.
I don't really fuck with relationships like that. So I'm gonna keep you on the back burner.
But it's still also a sense of an insecurity.
It is an insecurity though. It is insecurity.
It just manifests in different ways.
Yes, it manifests in different ways. So some people get avoidant, some people get anxious. And
then controlling,
what we're really talking about right now is attachment styles. To be honest, everybody should know their attachment style. If you don't know your attachment style, learn your attachment style.
Yeah, and I have an episode on that, so y'all go back to that one.
Oh yeah, definitely plug that in. Break that down, because that'll give you a lot of insight on how you are as a person and how you date, what you look for, what you should be looking for, how you can heal, all these different things so that you're not repeating cycles of like quote unquote toxic relationships.
So how do you think that, like, how can women recognize that in a sense? Yeah. And address it in a sense as well.
Right. So here's what I'll say. I mentioned it before, a couple things, right? So like for me, it was controlling. So once you start feeling like he's stepping a little bit too hot, asking you to do certain things, not even asking, but more so making a request and feeling entitled to you behaving in that way, that may be controlling behavior, right? We need to be careful to understand like the difference between like leading effectively and controlling, right? And I think a lot of times us as men, like we think we're leading by telling and demanding, and that's called dictatorship.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I never had to tell, like, I make certain requests of my girl if there's certain things that I want, right? But I never had to, yo, go do this for me. Like, or you're not allowed to do this. Don't do that. Or you can't go here. You can't wear this. Blah, blah. If you want to wear something wild, we're gonna have a conversation about it for sure.
And what's crazy is like a insecure woman will look at that as like love and care. You know, like, oh, like he cares about what I'm wearing. He cares about what I'm doing. He cares about this. So he must love and care for me.
Yeah, no.
That's not the case.
No, ma'am. No. He may love and care for you, but that's not how love should be communicated. That's not how love should show up. It shouldn't be, I love you, so I'm going to control you. I love you, so I'm going to let you know, I'm going to let you do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And I'm going to communicate effectively how I feel. And that's what it is, right? And then when I communicate how I feel about things, it's up to you to then make a change if you want to. And if you don't, then it's up to me to move based off of your behavior, right? And I think we get it confused. We're just like, nah, do this and be this person for me right now. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you Penny. You can't be anybody else but Penny, right? Exactly. Like, and I can communicate what I want as Kizzle, right? And then we can then figure out how that works. But it can't be this person for me now because this is what I want. And that's one of the biggest signs. Another thing, like I talked about, is the avoidant, right? So if he has a fear of rejection. No, seriously though. If he has it's right. These things are, and I'm gonna talk about this. We have the Healing Father Wounds webinar this weekend, so I'm gonna be talking about attachment styles. So I just like study back up on it because I had to make the presentation. But it's two things, right? It's two dimensions, right? It's intimacy and it's individuality, right? And these are really the two dimensions that we need to be paying attention to, right? So if their person is like super uncomfortable with intimacy, that means that they're probably avoidant and they may have an avoidant attachment style and they need a little bit of help, right? That means that they're probably super comfortable with individuality. They like being to themselves, right? If they're super comfortable with intimacy, that means they may be anxious, preoccupied, like insecure, attached, right? That means that they really want to be around you. They crave relationships. They crave that love. So when they don't get that, it's a problem. Right? That means they're uncomfortable. Right. That means they're uncomfortable. Right. They're uncomfortable with individuality. I can't be alone. I can't be to myself. That's why I hopped into a new relationship. Right. Because I gotta be with somebody. Like I'm alone. Whoa. Now I need to serial date.
Don't feel right.
Now I need to figure out who the next person is. Right. So that's those are two big ways in which we can identify like attachment styles in people, and I think that will help you to figure out how insecurity is playing out. And then there's another one that's like disorganized, which is basically both. Like they kind of live in a contradictory state, so they're both like uncomfortable with individuality, but also uncomfortable with intimacy. And so kind of they like sway back and forth between the two in a relationship. And some people can be disorganized.
And all of this basically like is from your childhood and like the way that your caregiver cared for you and how you kind of coped with that as a kid.
Right.
Half the time we don't even remember those things.
No, we don't.
All the time we don't.
It's on a subconscious level, right? And so a lot of people, I like to say it this way, a lot of people are out here thinking they're making conscious decisions, but it's really your subconscious that's out here moving on your behalf. And you're not even aware. So there's a lot of people that are asleep out here.
I'm gonna pull this book out because I'm looking at the book right now that's changed my entire existence. With all that,
somebody just told me about that.
It's not. It's so good.
Told me.
This is the one, Attached by Amir. I think it's Levine. Yes, and Rachel Heller. Yeah, it's so good. It's all about that whole
attachment styles.
So this is my last dating question. We'll have so many. We have to get to some other stuff. But I feel like when you commit and marry, not to say that you are to marry your person's like traumas in a sense, but as a whole, you are kind of committing and to that as well. So can you kind of speak to that? How does one go about that in a non-codependent route, but in like a healthy, healed, I guess communicative route?
Right. So just to make sure I got the question correct, right? So when you get in a relationship with someone and you're gonna marry them, how do you make sure that you are kind of in a position supportive, but not codependent? Triggers might pop up, they might arise. How do you handle them? I'm sure you've already dealt with that being in one,
although I feel like healing is a journey. You're never just like one-stop shop. I'm healed, it's done. Like, nah.
So there's this thing with attachment styles where it's like people say that the quickest way to get to a earned secure attachment, which is like if you have an unhealthy attachment style like anxious, avoidant, or disorganized, you work your way by healing to a earned secure attachment, which is the ideal attachment style. They say the quickest way to do that is to get in a relationship with someone that's secure, because they will love you in a way that's secure, and then you'll learn what secure love looks like, right? So what I'm basically trying to get at is that when you're in a relationship with someone that may have an unhealthy attachment style or may have some unhealthy tendency, the way that you can help and support is by loving them in a way that shows them what secure love looks like. So not always giving them that reassurance when they need it if they're anxious, but talking them through what they're actually feeling and helping them to identify. But also you want to be careful to not play therapist, because you're not a therapist and you don't need to be their therapist. They need to get in therapy. So it's giving reassurance, but not always giving reassurance. If it's somebody that's anxious, helping them to talk through some of those things, because sometimes we need reassurance in a relationship just because we need reassurance. But sometimes it's really just your anxiety is flaring up. Okay, why is it flaring up? Because I'm just going to a party, bro. Like, I'm gonna be back. You know what I'm saying?
It really
so,
be like that.
What's up? So what's up? What's going on, bro? Like, let's talk about that. Like, why you feel so anxious about me just going to a party, right? And sometimes, like for us, that may be dealing with that attachment style, we're not even aware that it's anxiety. We just feel like it's disrespect. You going to a party
like
and I told you not to go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, you're leaving me here by myself. You're going out. I've been there. I have an anxious attachment style too. I had one. I think I'm working towards secure, but
So that's one of the big things for sure. So loving somebody in a secure way. If it's an avoidant person and they just want to be to themselves, like figuring out maybe like little ways in which y'all can be more intimate. And showing them that you're not having to prove that you're reliable, but just being reliable. Because a lot of times what avoidant people have a fear of is rejection. So the reason why they don't want to be intimate is that every time I'm intimate with somebody, they don't show up for me. And so I don't want to be more intimate with anybody else because I don't want to be rejected anymore. And so for someone that's dealing with that, is just be reliable. Don't feel like you have to take everything on your own, because you don't. You don't have to always be reliable, but just showing ways in which showing them that you're going to be there, right? Like a lot of this really boils down to reassurance, but reassuring the needs of that person. So an avoidant needs reassurance that you're not going to reject them.
Mm-hmm.
And an anxious needs reassurance that you're not going to
abandon them. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you also have to be careful, like I keep saying, of not becoming that person's crutch. And every single time, yeah, I'm going to reassure you. Yeah, I'm going to reassure you. Yeah, I'm going to reassure you. No, sometimes I need to just sit down and talk through it. And you don't need to be given reassurance. They need to figure out a way that they can reassure themselves. And that comes with reframing and having these kind of conversations. So yeah, I would say it's a slippery, it's a tricky.
It's kind of like be empathetic in a for sure, but it's a slippery slope. It's a thin line.
You don't want to slide into becoming that person's crutch, and you don't want it to turn into y'all just arguing all the time about the same thing over and over and over again. So I would say couples therapy, individual therapy is the best route to go. Give reassurance and help out however you can, but also get in therapy for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my next question was, how do we still hold people accountable for their negative actions but still have empathy? But that really is like kind of the same thing in a sense.
Right. So like acknowledging what they're doing and letting them know how you feel about it, while still being empathetic, right? So it's like someone can, like, are we talking about specifically relationships or just in general?
No, now we can open it up. Yeah.
Okay.
And also, I think I would say that, like, once you start hurting yourself or once you start kind of slipping on your own stuff, that's when I think you can realize that the line is kind of crossed, like that, you know.
Exactly. Right.
Like
so
you always start feeling it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You need to be checking in with yourself. That's one of the big things I didn't mention. You need to be checking in with yourself. How do you feel about the approaches that you're taking? How do you feel about where you're at? What is your capacity at? All of these will give you insight on what your approach should be, right? If we're talking about specifically like dealing with like people that have unhealthy attachment styles and how to love them. In terms of like holding people accountable, accountability can hurt for some people because like a lot of people don't like being held accountable for stuff. But I think it's important, especially when people do us wrong, to have that kind of conversation. And, you know, don't be demonstrative about it and be super critical, but just be aware of how you feel and communicate that effectively. I feel like this as a result of this. Pretty simple standard format that people can use when they go through like conversations with people, and had like an issue with something that they may have done. Instead of just saying, you did this to me, right? Because that's super accusatory and that can lead to like, you know, arguments and people being defensive. It's I feel this way.
I feel this way and I want to talk to you about this. And if you love that person, you don't want them to feel that way. So you're gonna figure out how to Right.
Y'all gonna whether it be agreeing or disagree or whatever the case may be, right? Like y'all are gonna be able to have a much healthier conversation, hopefully, if you communicate it that way. And then we get into the conversation of some people think feelings over logic and your feelings don't really matter. And logically, this is what actually happened.
That goes into my next question then, because I was go ahead. I heard you, it was one of your episodes, but you were telling the lady that masculinity is draining. So that brings me to this one guy. He basically said, he was like, I'm always there for everybody else, but like, who's going to be there for me? He just said that. But it's someone who definitely wasn't avoidant. But that was a very vulnerable thing for him to say. And like definitely break that down. And what did you mean by masculinity being draining?
I'm smiling because I'm still learning so much about masculine energy, feminine energy, masculinity, femininity, all of these labels that we put on these things, right? I think society's definition of masculinity is super draining, right? You got to be a man's man. You got to be strong. You got to take care of all the things. You got to be protector, provider. You got to be on top of things, stay organized and stay militant. Blah, blah, blah. Bro, that shit is, I'm good, bro. I'm all the way good off of that. Like, I need to be that in certain situations. But being that 24/7 is draining as fuck. Excuse my language. I'm sorry. This is just the way it comes out for me, right? It's draining. Like being that way all the time is draining. You're not gonna tell me, because I'm a guy, right? Like I know how it feels. No guy is gonna sit here and tell me that being strong all the time, having to be the protector provider, having to be super organized, having to be militant, having to stay on top of all these different facets of things, having to lead all the time is not draining. No man's gonna tell me that that's not draining. So that's why I say society's definition of masculinity is very draining. But when you open it up and really understand what it means to be a comprehensive man, as Jason Wilson says, right? Or divine masculine, as other people will say, is you really understand that there's other aspects to being a man, to being masculine, outside of just what society labels as masculine, right? And I think Jason Wilson said this as well, like, as men, we need to learn to be everything and anything that we need to be at any given moment. We can't just always label ourselves as one thing or maybe 5 things or 10 things, right? So my label changes whenever it needs to, right? I'm nurturing when I need to talk to my girl about something she's going through, right? I'm a protector when we out on the street. I'm a provider when I'm at work, right? You get what I'm saying? So my label can change, and I can flow in the different energies and things that I need to be. But when I'm just,
it's not just simply black and white.
Right. When I'm just, black and white, this is what I need to be. That shit is draining as hell.
Yeah.
I gotta be organized all the time. I gotta lead. Like all these different, like, bro, I'm good. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Sometimes I just want to chill, bro. Like sometimes I just want to chill. I don't want to be the masculine man that, everybody wants you to be. I don't want to be punching walls and having all this anger pent up and all these different things. Like, nah, I'm good off of that, bro. And that's why a lot of times us as men, we have all these problems that we dealing with our mental health because we don't got no release.
Like y'all are operating in that at work, and then you come home, whether it's your girl, whether it's your homies, whatever, and you're still operating in that leader, I guess, perspective and stuff like that. So it's like, when do you get to like release and just chill?
Right. Never. And a lot of men just go throughout their whole life just grind mode. Get up, grinding for my family.
Like run for your life. LLC,
I'm
Twitter.
Hustling, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Team no sleep.
Team no sleep, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm working on my dreams. I'm gonna be a billionaire. I don't know about y'all. Y'all sleeping. I'm up 2 a.m. Now, you know what I'm saying? Like all these toxic beliefs, like, bro, I'm good. I'm gonna get.
It's like, also, who is this for? Truly, like, who is it really for?
Right. Like, why are you doing all this, bro? Like, and I get it. Some of us is like really have great work ethic because I can say that, right? Some of us have great work ethic, but we need to know when we need to turn that on. Sometimes you need to turn it off, bro. Like sometimes you really need to turn it off so that you can be able to turn it on whenever you want. And you can't turn it on whenever you want if you have it on all the time, bro. You're gonna get drained. You're gonna get burnt out. Trust and believe me, I have great work ethic, but I get drained. I have my moments. I'm like, bro, I'm good. I ain't doing shit today.
Yeah.
I'm not doing a damn thing, right? I'm good because I'm feeling like I'm getting to a point where I'm getting burnt out. So before I even get there, I'm just gonna relax. I'm gonna play some games. I might call the bros, you know what I'm saying? I might watch a game. I might watch a movie. I might just eat some pizza. You know, I might just watch some YouTube. You know, I'm just gonna chill, but I ain't gonna be this masculine man and grinding 24/7 all day, every day. That is too much. I'm answering emails all day at work. Then I gotta get off of work, come and answer more emails and answer comments and DMs and set up Instagram lives and podcast episodes and all. Bro, if I was doing that 24/7, bro,
that's wild.
Would have never had no Expressions of Black Man.
Yeah.
Ever. Because I quit a long time ago. And then that's when I realized, like, yo, this definition of what people say is masculinity really is trash. Like, I'm good off that. I'm not doing that.
I feel like a lot of men do find their value in like those accolades, like, you know, and how much they have and how hard they work and it's like they miss so much, I think, life by trying to climb up this ladder and get to whatever this place is.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's very difficult. So I'll say this, right? Money matters.
Yep.
Money matters. We're never going to have a conversation about money and pretend like it doesn't matter. It matters. Where we go wrong is we make it the end all be all for our character and how we feel about ourselves. Oh, I ain't got no money, I'm trash. I got money, I'm lit. That's literally what it is. It's just those two. For real. I ain't got no money, I'm trash. I got money, I'm lit. That's really what it is. And then the people that got money and they lit be depressed. The people that think they trash because they don't got money, be depressed. And we just all sitting here depressed. Some of us have money and some of us don't. But depression don't discriminate. Don't matter if you got money or not. So the reason why I'm saying that is because I just had a video. I didn't even put it out yet. But I had a video where we're talking about money. And I was saying money is one dimension of the six. I say six. Most people say 5 dimensions of wellness that we need to be focusing on, right? So there's 6 dimensions, right? And we get focused on the financial. There's spiritual, there's physical, there's mental, there's emotional, right? And then there's social. And we get focused on financial. And financial becomes the entire thing for us.
That's gonna be a good ass post because it's really gonna put into perspective, like for real.
When you look at it like this, you get what I'm saying? Like, imagine if I was walking around here with just one finger. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I'm dead. You laugh. I'm so serious. That's really what it be for a lot of men. Like, we just come out here just one finger. I got my finances. You know what I'm saying?
And they're also like, they're wondering why they're not connecting with women. Why they're wondering but it's because you've been focused on this one thing.
That's all you've been doing your whole life. And now you got the 6-figure job, but you don't know how to communicate.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, you can't hold a conversation with a woman for more than 20 minutes. 20 minutes seems like a lot for you.
Right.
Like a 20-minute face-to-face conversation with a woman, you are terrified. But you got 6 figures though, so you wouldn't, I guess. You know what I'm saying? And that's what and this is the problem that we have in our community. It's like, work yourself to 6 figures and everything will open up.
Right.
Like, nah, bro, I hate to say it this way, right? But I'm gonna say it this way, right? If you were lame before you had money, right? I'm gonna keep it a stat.
I don't want to say it.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful, right? Because I'm saying it this way so people can understand. Money is not going to change your character. If you were lame, if you were an asshole, if you were messed up to people before money, you're going to be the same way after money, bro.
Kind of like when people pledge. I'm a Delta, but like I've just been in the Greek world. It's like if you was this before, you still that after.
Look, don't get me in trouble. But them 3 letters that people get. Listen, bro, that ain't going to change you. That ain't gonna change you. All it's gonna do is give you more.
You're just putting stuff on you. It's putting stuff on you, but nothing in you.
It's not. Ooh. Okay, quote it. Okay, clip it. Nah, seriously though. Yeah. Damn, that's fire. That's really what it is though. Like, you can't just keep on stacking accolades on top of a faulty foundation.
Yeah.
If you don't have no foundation as a human, as like characters and values and morals and codes and principles that you stand on, and you get to 6 figures, and you think that all of a sudden that this whole thing that you built up is gonna stand, it's not, bro. That's why you get mad when anybody talks about your hairline or whatever it is, because you're still insecure. I ain't gonna lie, I had that moment the other day. I was on TikTok. Damn, I ain't gonna lie, that comment hurt me. We all have our insecurities, but that shit hurt me.
Yeah, like men and their hair, their hairlines, haircuts.
I was like, damn,
it's a touchy subject.
I was like, damn, I got some work to do. Somebody saw my post and he was like, damn, bro.
Oh, they commented?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna say it right now. He said, what did he say? He said, damn, bro, that hairline leaning with 3 laughing emojis. I said, fuck, that's crazy. I said, damn, that's what you got out of this, bro. I was hurting. I went on his page. I'm like, yo, I'm about to cut his ass.
Fire his ass up.
Yeah, I was like, you know what, bro? This ain't even, come on, bro. What you doing? Because now I know you hurt because you on his page and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so I just responded to him. I said, male pattern baldness, which is what it is, right? This is what we all go through, right? I said, it's the early stages of male pattern baldness, bro. It ain't nothing I could do about it. He just liked it and kept it pushing, right? But if I go back and forth with him, now we going back and forth.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if I said something about him,
hurt men, you heard over your hairline, he heard over whatever he heard about going back and forth.
Right. If I guarantee you, if I go and I insult him, now we having a battle.
That wouldn't look too nice under the,
you know what I'm saying?
Black man.
And it's not even about that, right? It's just about the fact that this is how we don't even communicate. We don't really communicate effectively, right? Like, he's telling a joke, right? He could be trying to hurt me, but I don't think he thinks that it's gonna hurt me. I don't even think that he thinks that I'm gonna see it. He's just commenting, right? So why do I need to then take that, internalize that, and then fire off something hurtful back at him, bro? What am I doing that for? Right? And it taught me something about myself. I'm like, damn, bro, you really are sensitive about your hairline. Cause I'm sitting here looking at my hairline in the mirror and shit. I'm like, damn, bro, if my hairline really messed up, like, yo. And I realized, like, bro, what is it? Bro, you good. Relax.
Right. Exactly.
Like, why
But you
is
really,
this?
but
You
you
know what
really
I'm saying?
that's a whole nother, we have to do another episode.
Yeah,
'Cause
we
that's a
can.
whole nother conversation.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Literally.
It is, bro. It is. And we're so insecure about a lot of different things. I was literally gonna make a post about it. We're insecure about a lot of different things and we don't understand that. And so when people trigger us with those things, we just go off into like anger
Yeah.
mode. I'm angry, I'm about to violate you now.
Yeah.
Like you talk about my hairline, now I'm violating you. Now I'm violating you. Right. And
Like
when we
they
on
say,
the
it's a
street,
wrap.
this is how people get killed.
Mm-hmm.
This is how people get killed because we don't know how to manage and deal with our emotions. After I got
Mm-hmm.
that comment, I was hurt. Don't get me wrong. And I knew I
Mm-hmm.
was hurt though. And that's the difference. A lot of us don't even know we hurting. And then that
Yeah.
hurt just be anger. I was hurt
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't go into anger. I'm a violate. I went into, you know what? Let me process this. Even though I went on his,
like,
I went,
do you
even
have
though I
like a
went on
count
his
to
page.
10 system, or do you have like,
I
have a 2
meditated for a little
business days?
bit.
Okay, I have a
I
2 business
meditated.
days counts 10.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
what I
meditated
do.
on it.
Yeah.
I meditated by doing a little belly breathing.
Mm-hmm.
I affirmed myself. I checked my hairline. I looked at my haircut. I'm like, bro, your haircut look good, bro. You good.
Right. Like, you fine.
You're straight, bro. Like, relax.
After you went to his page though, but it's okay.
After, yeah. You know what I'm saying? You got a little toxicity. It's all good.
Yes.
You sprinkle
Oh
a little
my gosh.
toxicity on top of it, but it's all good.
Yes.
But I really affirmed myself and told myself that I was good. I spoke to myself. And then
Mm-hmm.
that helped me to get to a point where I realized, like, yo, bro, it ain't that serious. It ain't that good.
Mm-hmm.
It's
People
good.
always like say affirmations are corny, or they're this, they're that, or even just like
People that say that just have
your
never done it.
journal, right? Because but it's like,
That's
if it's
that's
like,
yeah.
it's kind of how I am spiritually. Like, if I'm armed, like if I'm listening to a gospel song in the morning, whether it's a sermon, whether it's affirmations or journal, it's like I'm armed for the day. So anything that comes at me, I've already had my perspective. I know who I am. I know whose I am. So it's like nothing can get to me. But those times when I'm not armed, I'm ready to pop off too.
Right, exactly.
So that's what affirmations and all that stuff is really for.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yep,
mm-hmm.
yep.
But yeah, oh my God, we have to do part. I literally only got through 10 of the questions, so we have to do another part. I just like writing. 20? Yeah, I've been doing this for a long time. It's like 25.
Damn. Yeah, we gonna.
But literally, like, yeah, it's a whole, like, so many other topics. But we'll end it here because it's a good note, and we'll do part 2. I always end with my guests letting me know, like, what brings them peace of mind. It could be like anything, but what has been bringing you peace of mind as of lately? It could be, take it wherever you want to take
it. Peace of mind, man. Breathing. And the reason why I say breathing is because I do belly breathing meditation, where I just, when I wake up, I do 5 minutes of meditation where I just breathe in, expand my diaphragm, my belly, and then breathe out. And I do that for 5 minutes. I try to focus on my breathing. So that brings me peace of mind. Going to the gym, working out, that definitely brings me peace of mind. Talking to my girl, I ain't gonna lie, man. Talking to my girl, that brings me peace of mind. Yes, it or not. You know, it's very cliche. You know, people say that and it's a cute thing to say, but it really is. That really is what it is. I like talking to her.
Let me ask you this. Like, what does she, like, how did she provide that safe space for you? Like, in this new phase of y'all, because you said that was too, you know, tangibly. And I'm asking as a woman who would be trying to provide that space for somebody as well.
Right. Ooh, you want the gems. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How does she provide the safe space? She listens
without you know, forcing it, and like
she listens. She listens, and she reaffirms, right? And so listening for us is listening to us and understanding us. Those are the two things, right? Because you can listen but not understand, right? So, oh man, damn. Okay, I'm coming up with a blueprint right now. It's three things, right? Listening, understanding, and implementing. Right? So you got to go through all of those things, kind of, sort of, right? So you listen, give us a space to speak. The work doesn't stop there. The work continues by understanding what's actually going on. And that could be directly or indirectly, right? This is why you need to be in tune with yourself and also have a high level of emotional intelligence, right? Because I could be telling you one thing, but underneath there's something completely different.
Right.
Damn, babe, I really miss you and I can't believe that this happened, blah, blah. It could be that I miss you. It could be that I need some reassurance. It could be that I want to spend more time. It could be a variety of different things. And a lot of these things you start learning as you understand a person more too. So
Right.
don't
And
try
like
and
how
get
they
it right.
operate.
You know what I'm saying? Don't try and get it right off the bat, right? But
Because everyone
listening,
you date is gonna be different.
right, right. But listening initially and offering a space and where that person can um express and you not judge, but also reinforce, like reaffirm, like, nah, you good, like you got it, believing in that person and really supporting them in what they do. That is what really has got us to a point where like we both are each other's piece. Because I know if I go to her with something, it ain't going nowhere. And I know that she's also going to listen and support me and give me some good insight and feedback. And same with her. If she comes to me with something, she knows that I'm going to do the same thing, right? So we have to both do those things, right? We have to actively do that, actively listen, right? And I take notes on my girl, like, and I know she takes notes on me.
I be taking notes,
yeah, right. Like taking notes is very, very important. Don't let anybody tell you that that's corny.
No, literally, I kind of thought to myself, I do that, but I was like, is it me being like not like obsessive, but just wanting this so bad, or like wanting to make this make sense so bad? But it's like,
let me tell you
I just want to remember and know like who this man is.
Because you care, which is something that you should. If you interested in somebody and you care, there's nothing wrong with taking notes.
That's so interesting. I've never told nobody that, and I just told the whole pod. But
no. There's nothing wrong with taking notes. I think we should normalize it. Honestly, right? Like take notes on your person.
I love that.
Right? It's not stalking them. It's taking notes so that you understand what's going on. Let me ask you this right now, right? And I'm gonna make you feel a lot more comfortable with it once I explain this to you, right? Let's say you had a work meeting, right? And your manager is telling you all these different things that need to get done next week for a presentation. Are you gonna take notes during that meeting?
Yeah.
Oh, why?
I'm trying to do a good job and keep my job.
Right, like, exactly, right? Because it matters.
Excel. Yeah, right, not even just keep it. I'm trying to be the best at it.
Because it matters to you, right?
Right.
It matters, right? So you'll take notes for work, but you wouldn't take notes for a person that could potentially be your partner for the rest of your life. You get what I'm saying? And most people, men included, when they're asked, I think this was actually a study that was done on men. When they're asked whether they'd rather have a successful marriage or a successful work life, I think most men chose a successful marriage. So that goes to show that we do care heavily about marriage, family, all these different things. So if we care that much about it and we would take notes at work, why wouldn't you take notes about your partner and what's going on with them? You get what I'm saying? So don't ever feel no type of way about taking notes. You should be taking notes. That is such a small thing to do. You get what I'm saying? That you shouldn't feel uncomfortable about doing that at all. And it puts you ahead of the game. Honestly, because most women, I ain't gonna make no generalizations, right? But you know what I'm saying? A lot, this generation. I don't really know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Yeah. I'm trying to stay off of social media and what they're saying about our dating and all that kind of stuff. So I don't really know what's going on. It's a crazy field. But I'm not, it's crazy out here. I'm not hearing about women taking notes. So this is refreshing for me. This is refreshing to hear that that's something that you do. It's good. You should broadcast it. You should make it something that you speak about. It shouldn't be something that's seen as, damn, I can't believe that I do that. Am I lame? Am I weird? Yeah, like nah, you're cool. You're good, bro.
Thanks for sharing that. This is the first time that someone's even, and I'm sure other people do the same thing. They just haven't said that or whatever. But that really made me be like, okay, like I'm not tripping with that. I really was like,
you're not. You know what? Man, people don't understand. So there's like, guys have these kind of conversations all the time where like when we see a woman and we identify certain like characteristics or certain things, like we're like, oh yeah, she's a wife. Like we know off rip. You know what I'm saying? Like we know off rip. You may not be a wife for us, but you know what I'm saying? Like characteristics, we're like, okay, she's a wife. Any guy that hears about a woman that's taking notes, he's gonna attribute that to a wife characteristic. That is not a bad thing to do at all. That puts you in a different category in men's eyes that are healed or healing, right? Anybody that has a problem with that is probably just need some work to do.
And not even just with men, not even just with men, even like with friends and stuff like that. They might like, like, why do you care that much? He don't care about
you got girlfriends that be saying stuff like that?
No, I'm talking about like my own friends.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
in a
yeah. That's what I'm
sense.
saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
it's almost
you shouldn't. No, listen, bro. Look, we got a lot of friends that end up giving us like horrible dating advice. And
yeah.
you gotta be able to assess which one of your friends is like. I'll say this, right? This is a precursor that you should ask yourself before taking any advice. Do I want to be where this person is?
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to be where that person is, I'm good off the advice, bro. I'm good. Keep that.
That is
You know what I'm saying?
facts.
If you are not where I've been, or you're
Where I'm
not where I
going.
want to be, or yeah, right? Then I'm good, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm straight. I'm
Wow.
straight. And we got a lot of friends that's in failing relationships, failed relationships,
Lots of
and
projecting.
they're just like, yeah, man, that dude don't love you. He's just going blah blah. Or that girl, yeah, she's just gonna cheat. All women like this. All men like this. Blah blah. Anytime I hear all, I'm like incorrect. There's
Right.
no all of anything.
To nothing.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's an absolute. We can't use absolutes in front of demographics. Right. That's why I always try to say
It's like we're dealing with human beings. Like there is no black, there is no white. Like we are in this gray space.
It's all gray.
But I know people want to make things make sense. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes
generalizations are. So I had this like not a debate, but anytime I talk about generalizations and I say generalizations aren't good for us, people say, well, we need to generalize because you have to generalize groups of people so that you can be able to study and understand. Generalizations are important for the human brain and blah. I get that, right? Like we're gonna make generalizations in certain situations. The generalizations that are negative, right, that aren't helpful are the ones that could like that say an entire demographic is one way that they may not be. That leads to you not associating with them because of that, right? So like let's say this, right? All women are evil. All women cheat. All men cheat.
All men cheat.
Now as a now right, all men lie. Now as a result, when you see men or you're in a relationship with men, right? You're like, man, he could be lying anyway. All men cheat anyway. All men lie anyway. That's your expectation now.
Yeah, and the way that you show up is going to be different based off that. Like you're going to show up differently. And I believe like what you put out, like that's what you're going to get. And even without even saying it, just like if you think that shit will really happen, like good or bad.
Yeah, that's one of the laws. That's one of the laws of the
attraction.
Universe. Yeah, yep. Law of attraction. Yep, manifestation is very real. What you speak and what you say and what you think all are true and will come into fruition if you continue to go down that path. That's why it's important to speak and think positivity and make sure that you put out positivity in the world because that's the law of reciprocity. More positivity that you put out, the more positive energy, the more you're gonna get. So yeah, man, people got to tap in with the laws, be very aware of what it is that you're saying, what you're speaking, what you're putting around yourself. That's why I talk about the content that we consume on social media and what it is that you're consuming on a daily basis.
I hate the men ain't shit, like that whole.
Yeah, that whole.
And I think because I have brothers and I've seen them
go through.
And I've seen go through things and like I've seen how like what they're actually going through, how that manifests with girls or you know, in different situations. So I understand like the reason behind why this girl might have felt this type of way. Not to say that my brothers were right in what they are doing, but there's always like a reason behind why someone is how they are, why they're acting the way that what they are. And some people can say, okay, that's could be used as an excuse. And one could say that's something that if you want to work with that person, like it's something to work through. So it's still a thin line between that too, but yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll say this. I think in our culture, we've gotten to the point where it's so easy to just condemn people that's all we do. We just go online. We just looking for people to condemn. And we just looking for things to be wrong and for things to disagree with so that we can leave our critical comments and, you know, criticize and all these different things. I see it on the page all the time.
Yeah.
Mess up one word. You say one thing that somebody doesn't agree with. The whole message.
And they just go off into a whole tangent.
You know what I'm saying? Right. The whole I'll give you this perfect example. I put up a post the other day. I said, I want my girl to cook and clean, but I also want her to have a mind, right? And I want to be able to support her. I want her to have dreams and goals and aspirations, blah, blah. And I went on this whole thing talking about how I want to support her. I want to make sure that she has goals and dreams, and I want to make sure that I can help her to achieve those things. And I got comments like, well, I hope you're cooking and cleaning too, because if she's the only one that's cooking and cleaning, then that's very stressful on her. I'm just like, bro, you ain't here. I just said I wanted to support her. How am I going to be supporting her if she's only cooking and cleaning? Right. I just said I want her to have drink. You know what I'm saying? But we focus so much. But I also have to understand that there's certain things that are triggers in our community, and certain things that you say, light bulbs start coming up, right? And people don't understand the type of person that I am, so they don't know that would never be in my character to have my girl doing that anyway. But it just goes to show that that's how people think on social media, right? You can hear an entire message, but focus in on the one thing that you did not like. Right, you feel like is wrong, right? And so for me, I'm just like, yo, bro, listen, it is what it is. I'm not on here to prove myself to anybody, and I just keep it pushing. And I don't allow people's views of me to change how I feel about myself. And that's one of the things I definitely have to grow into. Because when I first started social media and this journey and building followers.
Well, I know those comments are crazy.
Bruh.
I know they are. It's so crazy. Like people are like, it's called something. I'm not sure if it's hysteria or what, but like people are like attracted to like the like to negative news, negative everything. Like,
but you think, why you think they got all these they got all these like murder pages that just post about murders and shootings and killings, and you got all of these like news outlets that just always posting about drama and gossip and just all
it's another form of escapism, honestly. And people like that's what that really is, because it's like if I can talk about your reality, I don't have to
deal with mine.
Yeah. So
I deal with my escapism by, I escape by just playing games. I'll just go play a couple games, or I'll watch a movie. And then I empathize with the character. I'm like, damn, bro, you going through that, bro? Damn, that's tough.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, damn, man. Couldn't it be me? Meanwhile, I'm probably going through something similar or whatever the case may be, right? But I'm escaping by listening to or watching a movie. So, yeah, we all have it.
They talk a lot of shit about people who play games, but that's one of the healthier coping mechanisms, if we're being honest, you know?
There's a lot of women that don't understand games. That's the problem, right? Like a lot of women think a man playing games is problematic. Like that means that he's immature or whatever the case may be.
Or that he's like in his room, like he don't leave.
He's just a hermit. You know what I'm saying? Like
on Call of Duty, yelling at little white boys that are screaming the N-word. Like, what?
You tapped in. That's how I know.
My brother. Yeah.
You tapped in for sure. Nah, but seriously, that's what a lot of women don't even know about that. Like the Call of Duty and the white boy. Like a lot. That's what they be
going hard.
They go crazy. Yeah. So for real, like I'm just gonna say this, man. Like any man that's playing games, that doesn't give you enough indication of his character for you to say that you don't want to be with him. That's why when I see stuff online about I can never be with a man that plays games, I'm like,
it's like why are you playing games? You should be out there getting money. It's like, what if he was just doing that and came home to
chill? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't play games all the time, right? Like I barely play games. Like, but when I want to play games, I want to play some games, bro. Like, I just want to play games just to get my mind off. And I'm running a whole, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm running an entire platform on top of a bunch of different
9 to 5,
things.
right?
And I have a 9 to 5. Yeah. So when I want to play 30 minutes of some games, whether it be Fortnite, Battlefield, whatever the case may be, I think I deserve that. Yeah. I think I deserve that, right? And this is where we tie it back to the masculinity, right? Because a lot of times the reason why people get so upset about men playing games is because when we're playing games, we're in our childlike, you know what I'm saying? Our childlike form. We're really in tune with our inner child at that point. Like that's our inner child getting to play and chill for 30 minutes out of the 24 hours of the day. You get what I'm saying? And so that doesn't fit under the protect, provide, take care of everything, stay organized, blah, blah, blah. What? You playing games? You're not protecting the provider right now. What you doing?
I think that comes from, I have been around, this was when I was younger, I'm 29. I have been around men who like they literally just smoked and played games all day. Like I think that's the vision of what women have, because we have those people too. They just with their homeboys. It's like they already graduated college or didn't go or whatever, and they just still are on like that. So I think that's why. But it's like, no, that's not always the case.
Yeah, I'm glad you broke that down, because I'm not gonna sit here and defend that at all. I hate that. That's not you smoking and playing games. Get it together. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Come on, let's
Like on a
figure something out.
on a whole Wednesday, like at 12, like that's what they're doing.
Nah,
I've
no, no,
seen
no,
it.
no, 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 no. Come on, bro. Let's get it together. Let's get you right.
Mm-hmm.
You should.
That's
That's
when it goes
not.
in a negative way
Yeah,
of
yeah.
escaping.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a man that needs a little self-care time. That's coming off of doing a bunch of different things, and he's like, you know what, man, I want to unwind. I want to play a couple games before I go and do more work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to get this 30 to 40 minutes to myself to decompress, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And playing games is really escapism. Like, I don't have to be in my reality for 30 minutes. I can be in this fantasy world, in this virtual reality for 30 to 40 minutes and not have to think about all of my responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Because
It's
boy, do I have a
better
lot.
than being
Yeah.
like inebriated, or like
Bro, it's way
what's
better
better
than
than
that.
that.
It's way better than that. It's way better than that.
That is so true.
Man, this has been
I
a good
know.
conversation.
I actually
yeah.
have therapy in like 15 minutes, which is
Oh,
wild.
okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
Yes. But thank you so much. Definitely part two. Please tell the people where to find you, like anything you want to say, all the things. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you guys can find me at Express Yourself Black Man on all social media platforms, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and we have 2 free webinars coming out. I don't know when this episode is going to air. I'm pretty sure it's probably going to air way after the webinars, probably.
I think I just realized that I knew it was like Men's Health Month, so I'm like, it has to go out soon. So I was like, oh shit, like that's a perfect correlation.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about honestly like this upcoming Thursday, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this Thursday, this week?
Wait. No, like
the
Thursday,
next
Thursday, like yeah. But so yeah.
Okay.
And when's your webinar?
So the first webinar, they won't be able to attend because that's this weekend on Saturday. Mm-hmm. That's gonna be on healing father wounds. But if anybody's listening to this and they're like, damn, man, I wish I was able to attend that, you can send me a DM and we can figure something out. Mm-hmm. The second webinar is on Saturday. That's on the 25th, June 25th. It's gonna be talking about how to find a Black therapist.
That's so good.
Those are 2 webinars. Those are high in demand, in my opinion, because we've had over 100 people register. For both of those, the father wounds webinar has over 200 people registered at this point. Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely tap in, follow us on all platforms, and then also join Safe Haven if you're interested in like low cost therapy, joining that wait list, and also like that free medical concierge service that finds doctors and books appointments on your behalf, Black doctors, by the way, and that's also free, by the way. So that's part of the Safe Haven membership on top of daily polls, affirmations, all these different things. So we're giving men a space to really be vulnerable, be comfortable with each other, so that we can really heal, man. Because a lot of us don't have spaces where we feel comfortable talking about what it is that we're dealing with. And that can lead to us having all these like pent up emotions and feelings about stuff and not really knowing where to go to. So that's what Safe Haven is for the guys, man. And we have all these like community forums, live podcast episodes, events like watch parties on sports, that personal finance group in there. So yeah, it's really
a watch party. That's dope. That is so dope.
Yeah. Because it's not always about. It don't always gotta be about mental health. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to drill y'all about depression, like, anxiety. And I want it to be chill. Yeah.
Like self-help fatigue is like a thing. It really is, because it's like when do you like stop healing and start living? You know, like in a sense.
Right. No, that's absolutely true. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So yeah, that's where people can find us. the link is in my bio for everything on Instagram. And yeah, man, I hope this episode helps somebody for real.
It was such a good episode. It was crazy. I was supposed to say this earlier, but whenever I go to your page, whenever like if I'm talking to a new guy or whatever, and I see that they like follow you as well, I'm always like, that's a green flag. If I'm
that's an indicator for you.
If it's a mutual, I'm like, oh snap, like you are really, at least you took somewhat of a step, and I know like where your head is if you're following a page like this.
Wow.
I came across like 2, honestly, and I'm like, okay, like
that's very interesting.
Yeah.
I might have to clip this. I need this. Yeah, you have to send me this Zoom. I might have to clip this and let the guys know. Tell your friends, they checking it, they checking the followers.
They really are.
Nah, that's dope. Wow. Thank you for telling me that.
Yes.
That definitely made my day. I appreciate it.
Okay, so thank you so much. I'll hit you up. We'll do this again, like maybe in like 2 months or so. But like now, I have still had half, and now I'm sure I'm gonna have more questions. So, but yes,
let me know.
A continued pod relationship. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll figure something out. We could probably even do it before then. So it depends on what your schedule looks like. So let me know.
Cool. All right, perfect. Have a good evening.
All right, you too.
Okay,
have a good
bye.
therapy session.
Yes, bye-bye.